It is an honor for me to present to you the AUTOSAR Glimpse 2025. First of all, let's have a look on what has changed in the last years from a partnership perspective. We are very happy that there are also a lot of partners now from the Asian region. In the meantime, we have more partners from Asia than from Europe. And we have also first partners in Africa and a quite constant number of partners in North America. After having a look at the partners, let's have a look on challenges we have currently in the mobility ecosystem. First of all, you have seen this presentation slide also before. It shows the development of the architecture over the last years. In the meantime, we have arrived at a software-defined vehicle, which is based on a zone architecture. To give you a little bit of a context what AUTOSAR plans to do in a software-defined vehicle, I would like to take the zone architecture and explain to you in a very brief way where AUTOSAR technology we expect to be used in a zone architecture. First of all, we can see here a vehicle. In the background, in the heart of the vehicle, we expect something like HPCs. HPCs are high-performance computers which have multi-core capabilities with microcontrollers and microprocessors. They will host most likely AUTOSAR Classic platform and AUTOSAR Adaptive platforms, but also third-party applications and platforms. And those platforms are usually encapsulated via hypervisor technology or something similar. The HPCs are connected between each other via high-speed bus, for example Ethernet, and the underlying paradigm below that is service-oriented communication. To the Ethernet connection we have also the zones connected. The zone basically we expect to be multi-core microcontrollers running AUTOSAR Classic platforms. They connect via PDUs and via signal-based communication the sensors and actuators, which you can see the end of the turquoise line. These ECUs are usually microcontroller hardware-based ECUs and run AUTOSAR Classic or also smart ECUs with not too much software on it at all. This is the idea how we see the zone architecture hosting different kind of execution environments based on AUTOSAR. Having said that, I would like to emphasize that the connection to the cloud, so the connection to outside of the vehicle, different scenarios which are currently under discussion. For example, there's also the possibility to have a dedicated ECU or telematic control unit, or it is related to a zone ECU or to an HPC. So this is the overview. What's our goal as AUTOSAR for SDV? So the goal is very important, is AUTOSAR is supporting the transformation to the SDV, avoiding parallel development by cross-industry collaboration, and by keeping the AUTOSAR organization future-proof and retain the investments and benefits we as community and we as automotive industry have achieved over the last years. Having said that, let's see what we are doing with respect to collaboration. So we had a kickoff this year about potential collaboration with SOFI and thinking about an AUTOSAR blueprint. What you can see here are the collaboration goals that have been discussed in a kickoff workshop at the AUTOSAR All Working Group meeting. So we have in principle different collaboration goals. First, our collaboration goals with respect to AUTOSAR Adaptive. Here we are thinking about orchestrating AUTOSAR Adaptive Demonstrator via SOFI toolchain. We're also thinking about metadata to be automatically filled from the AUTOSAR system template, and also see if single AUTOSAR orchestration can be, AUTOSAR applications can be orchestrated or not. And secondly, collaboration goes for AUTOSAR Classic. Obviously, it's also interesting to orchestrate an AUTOSAR Classic platform, but also being able to have metadata filled, and similar like with AUTOSAR Adaptive, is it possible to orchestrate smaller chunks of application, maybe with the AUTOSAR flexibility concept. So these are the questions we want to investigate with SOFI together. So why is this collaboration helpful? So we have overlapping objectives. So SOFI is a standardized framework for a software-defined vehicle for scalable and open architecture, and AUTOSAR is the standardized software framework and open EE system architecture for intelligent mobility since quite a while. The SOFI framework can benefit from the AUTOSAR architecture, as AUTOSAR is automotive focused, widely deployed, and can meet safety and security standards. possible benefits is that we can make software orchestrators based on SOAFI, make sure that they are work with AUTOSAR components and could be the base to address certification in mixed criticality orchestration scenarios. And we can also use the AUTOSAR templates to support SOAFI orchestration decisions, as well have AUTOSAR Classic to provide safe routes to real-time and edge deployments. If we look at the potential setup with mixed workloads, example integration of SOAFI and AUTOSAR, you can see here in orange the ASIL-B capabilities that AUTOSAR would bring to such an orchestration, where we have, for example, in the center of the picture, the AUTOSAR adaptive platform being able to host a container runtime, which then itself can host and containerized AUTOSAR workloads, or also standard AUTOSAR workloads, which are not per default AUTOSAR based. And we have then on the right hand side in red, for example, an AUTOSAR Classic platform with ASIL-D that have in a safety island different application software, and also here this orchestration could be then investigated how this can work. So the next topic I want to switch to is basically the AUTOSAR opening strategy. So we have had over the last several years several steps in the direction of opening up. First of all, we have been expanding our reach into the regions by regional representation. We have discussed and are still discussing a lot about collaboration with other standards and organizations. We have introduced the Premium Partner Plus program to give premium partners more influence possibilities to the AUTOSAR development. We have introduced also derived applications, as you can see on the right hand side, where AUTOSAR can be used for other domains outside of the core automotive industry. And we have also introduced the AUTOSAR Associate Partner Lite program, which gives easier access to a limited scope of AUTOSAR work. As you have seen in the release event also, we have in a collaboration with Covisa released the Automotive API. One thing that remains open, which we tackle for next year, is the AUTOSAR Open Framework. And the AUTOSAR Open Framework follows certain characteristics. The AUTOSAR Open Framework should enable the collaboration in the SDV ecosystem in the context where it makes sense and where basically AUTOSAR purpose is fulfilled with projects in this AUTOSAR Open Framework. The goal is to foster an ecosystem of complementary standards and software implementations, and is also should allow new activities beyond the limits of the AUTOSAR development cooperation, and with that also other open parties, interested parties, are intended to be able to join projects in the AUTOSAR Open Framework. So one of the projects in the AUTOSAR Open Framework that we would like to announce is the AUTOSAR adaptive implementation. So as you might know, SDV core stack activities middle of the year in May 2024 have been announced at the Automotive Open Source Summit. And recently the Eclipse Safe Open Vehicle Core project was proposed. And as a lot of AUTOSAR partners are part in Eclipse and also in AUTOSAR, we plan to set up an AUTOSAR Open Framework project to allow collaboration on such an open implementation of the adaptive platform in the industry. What is the topic behind? This is our strategy, this is our plan, and we will basically implement and keep you posted on how far this plan is achievable. But what we would like to achieve is to enable such a joint implementation by AUTOSAR partners and non-AUTOSAR partners with target automotive grade. To have the possibility to be this project be governed by AUTOSAR, the rationale behind is the synchronization of code and specification. But it should also be covered by open source principles, so it is very important for us. And it should be aligned with processes of this before mentioned Eclipse SDV Core Stack project. And the idea behind is that an AUTOSAR open license should allow this joint implementation and collaboration in an open source project. If you have any business models around AUTOSAR and open source, we would ask you if you plan to do something here to wait until we have this AUTOSAR open license announced by AUTOSAR. The characteristic of this AUTOSAR open license is that it won't be able to grant actively any patent rights, so the exploitation of such an implementation under the AUTOSAR open license will require the need to get AUTOSAR partner or settle the patents rights separately. Then one more topic I would like to pick up again is the AUTOSAR adaptive stabilization from Nadim. As you can see here, this is the release history, so we have entered here now also in AUTOSAR stabilization phase, and with that we want to keep in the future our APIs backward compatible, and I think this is a very important message for the OEMs and suppliers out there, that the stabilization will also foster the reuse intent AUTOSAR has had from the beginning. Last but not least, I would like to invite you to the 16th AUTOSAR Open Conference, which will take place on the 27th and 28th of May in the Bruges Meeting and Convention Center in Belgium. So if you are interested also to become a sponsor, this is possible over the website www.autosar.org. There's also early bird ticketing going on right now, where you can profit from a cheaper ticket price. There will also be technical sessions and also the possibility to listen to third-party collaboration presentations from our collaboration partners such as Sophie, Covisa, Eclipse or others. So I would be very happy to see you there and would like to conclude with a summary. AUTOSAR is an important piece of the software-defined vehicle. Collaboration with other organizations remains key. We want to enable more open collaboration as AUTOSAR and also have a more active ecosystem based in source code collaboration around the AUTOSAR specifications. And we also want to conclude the opening strategy in 2025 with the finalization of the AUTOSAR open framework. And AUTOSAR adaptive stabilization will enable us all to have a more stable long-term reuse of software in the software-defined vehicle. So I would like to thank you for your attention and would basically give you a chance to go into a short coffee break. We will be back in some minutes, and then you will be able to ask your questions to me and the previous presenters. Thank you very much.